Hey everybody, it's me, Jess here, and we are doing another segment of conversations. And this is my friend Joe. Hey Joe.
Hi.
And last week I was cruising through Instagram, which I do, and Joe had posted a collage picture that really inspired me. And I called her up and said, "Hey, I want to do a conversation with you because one of the most important facets in our lives is learning to take good care of ourselves and to invest within ourselves." And Joe posted a picture on Instagram, and I would love to talk to you about that, Joe. You posted a picture last Monday, and I think you do this regularly. You set your week up. How does that work for you?
I think I'm a creature of discipline for sure. And I know that there are certain things in my life that need to be in place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Otherwise, it feels a little chaotic. So this picture that I posted, it was elements of my Monday morning. And my schedule is that I work from home on Mondays. It gives me a little bit more flexibility. Um, so Monday mornings, there's some elements that I kind of feel like I need to start my week off to have a successful, um, just all around emotional, spiritual, physical um, starting point for the week. And so the picture that I posted kind of contained all of those elements.
That's cool. I'm going to actually post that picture when I post the conversation on the conversation tab at Find Your Food. So, was this easy to slip into your life, or like did you have to like forge a pathway in or to get time to invest in yourself?
Well, I think it's really easy for us, especially nowadays, that there are way more distractions than there ever have been. If we think back like 20, 30, 40 years ago, there was no such thing as social media. And just have my soapbox moment for a minute. I think social media can be one of the biggest time traps there are in the world.
Yeah.
And as you can see, as I'm posting on Instagram, what I'm doing this morning. But no, it's not easy to um, put these things in place because there's so many other things competing for our time. There's kids, there's relationships, there's friendships, there's work, there's volunteer responsibilities, and the thing that I've come to find out, I lead a busy life just like anybody else. Really, anybody else that would be watching this is probably just as busy as I am, but um, for me, what I noticed was when I don't put these things into play,
Yeah.
I suffer.
Mm.
I suffer because I don't have the the deep well to be able to give of myself really in a way that really imparts to other people, invests in other people. So really, for me, it's kind of um, it's a non-option in my world. It's non-negotiable. If I don't have these things going, running and reading and just spending quiet time in the morning just to be able to reflect on the week I just had and the week coming up, then I find that I'm starting on the back foot right away.
Yeah.
So this is my way to kind of position myself for the week and know that I'm going to be able to help other people,
Yeah.
later on.
Because you are a wife, you are a mother, you have a full-time job, you and your husband own a company on the side that keeps you guys busy. You have your own motto of adding value to others. But if you don't add value to yourself and
Yeah.
your own personal world, yourself, then you are, like you said, starting on the back foot in a way. So, what
Yeah.
would be a great tip for the busy woman who is really almost starting Monday tired? Like today, I know you're starting Monday probably a little tired.
A little tired.
A little
Yep.
tired. What's a great tip? How do we go about getting this little section of time in our world?
Well, I have a little bit. It's probably for right now. My revelation right now is how important sleep is.
Mm,
So if I'm not setting myself up to have a good night's sleep by, again, I come back to, it's so easy to be on your phone
Yeah.
at, 9:30, 10 o'clock. All of
Yeah.
a sudden it's 10:30 and you're like, what have I been doing for the last hour? I've been looking at Facebook or whatever. So I've been trying to just once I get into my bedroom, that's it. No more phone.
Okay.
So that I can set myself up to have a good night's sleep. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've started a discipline of getting up at 5:30 in the morning. And I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous to some people, but I cannot tell you the value that it's added to my life because I'm up at least an hour before the rest of my family is.
Wow.
My daughter gets up at 7 right now. She's in elementary school. So that gives me a solid hour and a half, 2 hours of just that time to think, to process,
Yep.
and to be reading. I think reading is something that a lot of us don't make enough time for.
That's good.
But in my job, I have a team of about 50 people that they're all volunteers, and so to be in their worlds and to be bringing something and adding value to them, I've got to be putting value in my life so that I can then bring that to the table for them and inspire them. So it's just really important to make time for those things. And I know that a lot of people say there just aren't enough hours in the day. I for sure have said that.
Yeah, that's good.
So I make more time for myself. I give and I find that focus time, that uninterrupted time in the morning is, doing it before you start the rest of your day. You just don't get the interruptions and you get more focus and efficiency out of that time.
That is really good. I just have a little side question. Do you plan your food in that time at all?
I have not.
Aha.
But that's because currently, for right now, I'm intermittent fasting until lunch. So I'm not even thinking about food at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not even on my radar.
Yeah.
But I do like to, once I do get to the point of eating at noon, I do like to think about what the rest of my day is going to look like and go ahead and put that in so that I can kind of get ahead.
Yeah.
So that I'm not going at the end of the day going, I'm starving, I'm tired. It's, because I do that too. It's been a stressful day. I'm starving. I just want to go ahead and, start snacking as I'm making dinner. And then before you know it, it can get away from you. Your calories have, gone skyrocketed. So I do like to try to plan things. It just doesn't necessarily happen right there in the morning.
Yeah. I know as women, everything gets away from us at times. Kids and after school projects, our jobs, our friendships, as you were mentioning earlier. And if stopping this, it's almost like a tumbling down the mountain. To stop that, one of the things that makes me stop that is recognizing that taking care of myself is an investment into myself because these people are really relying on us. Your team that you have to pour into, your child you have to raise and pour into, your husband who looks across you at the dinner table and doesn't, he doesn't want the blank stare. He wants you available to pour into. That comes from investing in yourself. And I know some people will see this and they'll go, there's no time for that. I don't even have time to take that on. But it's so valuable. And I think the biggest point you put on the table today is you see such value in this that you've actually gotten up earlier to make sure it gets into your day. That's something I learned years and years ago. Get up and get the big rocks in the jar, because then after that, the little pebbles, the sand, and the water will all move around the big rocks. But if you try to put the big rocks in at the end, there's no room for them in the jar.
And we can think that the big rocks are, I've got to pay the bills, I've got to go to the grocery store, I've got to get that work project done. I'd like to challenge that thinking a little bit and say that the big rocks are actually the things that you need to do for yourself first. Otherwise, they're going to become the last thing that you put in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little bit backwards thinking. We've got
Yep.
to reprioritize.
Yeah.
Something else I was thinking as well is, how well do you know yourself? So, like,
That's good.
if you're watching this right now, most likely you're either thinking, I need to make a change, or you have made a change and this is your encouragement along the journey. If you're in that place, you know that you're being challenged in your way of thinking about food, about exercise, about how you take care of yourself. And I'd just like to throw out there that it's really important along this journey that you start introducing new activities in your world, whether it's hobbies or just different things that enrich your life. Because if we always do what we did, we'll always get what we got. Yep. And so I think this is cool because I've been talking with my mom and dad a lot, and they're actually doing keto, and they have been for quite some time and having great success with it. But one of the things that it's done for them is they have a passion for cooking together. And this has kind of reignited being able to find new recipes. And, it's just really cool to see how a part of you can actually be reignited and re-inspired. And I'm just throwing it out there. Are there things out there that could enrich your life that you've never tried? Because you've just been stuck in a rut for so long with eating the same foods and doing the same, activities. If you were doing activities, I just want to throw it out. I know Rhonda, which is one of your first conversations, she said, I hated exercise. I just didn't get it. But then I tried biking and I figured out I loved it.
Yep.
And it's so exciting to me to see some of these journeys that are happening in front of our eyes that people would have said before. Like, I remember when I was 27, my daughter was probably 2 years old, and this was really when our friendship started. I remember reading an article about running. I was on an airplane, coming back from a trip with family. I was reading this article, and I was like, I have said my whole life I can never run. Up to 27 years old, I said, running's just not for me.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. And I remember having a moment that day going, I'm tired of saying I can't do something. I'm just fed up with it. And I think a lot of you guys that are watching this right now are probably thinking, I'm fed up with the old way, and I want to try something new. So I'm challenging you to go to realize that there is nothing, there's nothing out of your reach if you just get that mental push through of, I'm going to try this and I'm going to really give it a go and let it stick long enough to see if this could be for me. Because I saw that in my own life. And as Jess knows, it went from I can't run to I'm running 2 miles. I'm running with Jess, and she's now telling me I should do a triathlon. To Jess and I, 2 years later, doing an Olympic level triathlon together. Yeah. And I would have never, ever tagged myself as an athletic person. And now people look at me and go, are you kidding? Because I'm so passionate about, just different sports and exercising. So never, don't write yourself off for trying new things, because I'm telling you, you just never know if you really give something a go, how much it can change you as a person. Yeah. And how accomplished you feel when you do tackle that thing that you said, I would never do that. You can do it.
Well, I think I said I will never run with tall people, because tall people go a lot farther in a stride than us shorties.
That's what treadmills are for.
I know. That's the only time we can talk and run. I'll never forget that run. It was in November, and we had planned to get up and meet and run at dawn. And we started out in the dark, and I'm probably at 25 degrees. We both had on so many layers, and off we went in your neighborhood. And at that time, it had mountains in it. Yeah. And off we went, and we shuffled along, and we talked. We knew each other as acquaintances, but we really hadn't. and hung out. And then all of a sudden, we are coming up around this massive, and we're coming back to your driveway, and we have done this.
Yeah.
And we both turn around, and there is the most beautiful sunrise with those pastel colors
Yeah.
that we were both in awe that this was happening on a regular basis in the world, and we were seeing it. We were so relieved we were done. We weren't freezing anymore.
Yeah.
I think we went through a season of doing those runs, and yeah, they led to triathlon, and that led to training for a big triathlon and a good little happy friendship.
The first time that we did that triathlon, it was the most surprising thing to me.
No, what was it?
How many 60, 70, 80-year-olds were doing it as well?
That's right. I got dusted by a 65-year-old.
I'm telling you.
I got a granny in the water telling me, honey, are you okay? You going to be okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening here?
And to each their own.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, again, if you are watching this right now, you have already made a decision that you want something different in your life. So take the time to consider who you are and what you want. This is the hashtag in my life right now. What do you want most?
Wow.
What do you really want most? And I have my answers for that.
Good.
But don't sacrifice what you really want most for what you really want now.
That's so good. Well, Joe, I want to thank you for taking some time this morning. You have put it out there. You have given us something to think about. I love that you challenged on this, and I'm looking forward to having you back. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you for having me, and good luck to all of you. And Jess is doing such a great job with her Facebook page and creating community. So definitely stay on with that on the Facebook page and ask the questions, be part of the conversation, because that it's through those conversations that we get the encouragement that we want. So
yeah. All right.